Okay, everyone has always reached out to me for my rates on my particular aircraft. And what I'm giving you now is a basic setup to start with for your 3D aircraft. This is mine for my AMR 60. And there are 4 rates I set for that. And what you are seeing right now is my high rate. It's 100% with 70 expo.
Flight mode 4.
My snap rate.
Flight mode 2.
My snap rate, which is 23% elevator with 15% expo. That's a very low rate, obviously, for smooth flying, but fast ailerons.
Flight mode 1.
Now, this rate is a rate for really solid rolling Harriers. Reduces the authority on the elevator a little bit. And to me, it just gives me a really cool, nice, smooth rate. I can do it very easily on high rates, but this is a rate just for rolling Harriers and depending on the other conditions. This rate
Flight mode 4.
is an extremely high rate, and this rate is full rates on everything, and this is almost exclusively for tumbling. So I have 100% elevator and 70% expo. Okay, this is my ailerons. On my high rates or 3D rates, it's 100% with 65% expo.
Flight mode 2.
My snap rate is 100% ailerons and 60%. My low rates,
Mode 1.
or that special rolling Harrier rate, is 75% with only 35% expo. The fourth rate is 100% and 65, just like the 3D rate. Here are my settings for the rudder. It's 170% expo.
Flight mode 2.
My snap rate is 40% and 21% expo.
Flight mode 1.
This is my rolling Harrier rate. It's only 63% with 37% expo. And of course,
Flight mode 4.
my tumbling rate is maxed out. I want to address the mixing. Most of the time, the PA planes do not require much or any mixing. This is a biplane. There is a lot of natural coupling. These are my settings. I'm not sure they would ever be yours. But if it's just a single wing aircraft, 3D aircraft, you're just going to have to go in, start with 0 mixing when you start. And once you get started up in the air and you see which way it's pulling or rolling, then you can mix it accordingly. And I have several videos on how to do the mixing, but I'm just trying to show you everything on how I set it up. Again, everyone always asks me for my personal settings on these types of planes. Now, this is a 3D plane, but this is kind of a special one that is exclusively for the Addiction series. Its flying characteristics are a little different, and I am asked for my Addiction settings constantly. So here they are with my Addiction X. I chose the one in the middle just for averaging's sake. So here are my high rates, 165.
Flight mode 4.
This is my snap rate, which is 75% and 46.
Flight mode 1.
This is my rate for rolling Harriers. I have 100% with 52% expo. This is my aileron rate for tumbling. And I know it might be a little confusing to see the aileron at 75%, but that is just purely based on the aileron's performance.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
That might change the way it enters a tumble. This is my elevator rate, which is 100 and then 57% expo.
Flight mode 4.
This is my snap rate, which is 42% and 34%. The other one on 44 represented a little geometry issue, so I corrected it.
Flight mode 1.
This is my rolling Harrier rate, which is 90% and 43%. The reason the expo goes down so much is because I need the elevator to kick in a little earlier with a little less movement on the stick. Here is my rudder settings. I've got it at 100% and 50% expo. I know it seems like a little less expo, but
Time remaining
I need
1
the
minute.
rudder to kick in a little earlier with my 3D stuff, so I put 50% in.
Flight mode 4.
49 and 33% on that snap rate, for more precision rate.
Flight mode 1.
And here I have it set at 86% and 40% for rolling Harriers. Okay, this is my mixes, and I always tend to start with them at 0. But most planes will require some mixing. My PA planes, again, with the exception of the AMR, which has some natural coupling, there is no mixing on my addiction. PA often ends up with absolutely no mixing whatsoever, which is so cool. It just goes on knife edge and will stay there. This is my special elevator flap mix that
-1
makes
minute.
tumbling really, really strong. So my mix here is, I mix the ailerons with the elevator. I have videos on how to do this and what it does. And that magic mix, my mix is 69% flap mix, which makes both ailerons move in the same direction, 69%. So if I pull back on the sticks, the flaps go up, and if I push forward, the flaps go down. But it really does some really cool things to the performance of the aircraft with elevators, tumbling, and some other things that really kind of look cool when you use this mix.